a lot of... I've read some stuff on that. Their nuclear operations they went bust because the mountain they were doing it out of collapsed on itself, and ever since then they've been like, oh, now we want to denuclearize.
They demolished a test site as a gesture of goodwill. It wasn't falling apart.
Yeah, so I honestly think the Kim Jong-un thing, it's kind of like it's pretending and then using it to his advantage to get things from the U.S., but I think they're not denuclearizing on purpose.
And he knows exactly how to play Trump.
100%.
And he's doing it.
I don't know if you guys have seen Ocean's 8, but they do that exact same thing, not to spoil it, with a certain male character, and basically his flaw is that he likes to fuck everything, and they end up making that his downfall. Wow. It's great.
Wow. Spoiler.
Still watch Ocean's 8. It's good. It was a fun movie.
I honestly haven't seen any of the sequels since the first remake. So not like I know it stands independently. It's not if you didn't see Ocean's 13, you're going to be totally lost.
It's completely independently. You'll get it. But it's funny thinking about men's downfall versus women's downfall and how we can easily be manipulated. It's kind of the opposite for each one. With a man, you can manipulate him by complimenting him and really blowing up his ego, right? And with a woman, you manipulate her by ignoring her.
Anyway, Tymon.
Hey, what?
Putty in my hands. No. But let's move on because I think that is a great segue into our next topic, which is about a book that has been used and misinterpreted over the centuries to help subjugate women among many other groups. You got it, sister.
Here, brother. Here.
Now, anyone who listens to this show or knows me personally.
Preach, David. Preach. Brother.
Well, I consider myself an agnostic Jew. I was raised in Judaism, and I still believe that the structure of the faith and the culture around it is something that has kept the people together for 5,000 years. So I am not one of those, all religion is bad. There are good things about, you don't have to be a Pollyanna to find some good things in everything. Doesn't necessarily mean that good thing outweighs all the horrible shit. If you're a vegan or a vegetarian, well, yeah, Hitler was a vegetarian. He also did some other stuff though. So maybe, yeah, I guess we could, he did that thing right. And we are now experiencing our first baby steps into America becoming a theocracy as the Attorney General misused the Bible to justify laws and the enforcement of laws in America. And I thought we weren't that country. For all these strict constitutionalists, I could have sworn there was something about separation of church and state.
Did you expect any better from a guy who thinks that marijuana is the devil?
Oh, no, not at all. Not at all. That's the thing. And I think with a lot of things with this administration, no, I'm not surprised. I'm shocked that other people are. And I'm even more shocked that other people aren't even moved.
Well, I'm at this point completely unfazed by it because as a progressive Christian myself, my religion has been used to justify all kinds of abhorrent behavior from homophobia to, like you said, pushing down women all the time in current day. I'm not even talking about 200 years ago. I'm talking yesterday and now. So, yeah, it's one of those things where I'm just apathetic. Oh, really? Tell me what else is new. They're using the Bible again to justify horrible things.
Right. And usually the biggest freak. Let me tell you, I've been baptized twice. I think probably
first one didn't stick.
No, it didn't. It should have held me down longer. First time when I was 8. Water, they damn sure should have helped me down for that second time, because that's when I was really out of control. And as soon as they brought me up out of the water, I was, I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to get away from these devil women. And they were giving me numbers left and right. I got more numbers. I was the only 27-year-old in my church, so I was very much in trouble. So anything from 18 to 50 I could have hit that I was in church. And everybody used the Bible on me. I said, come by early, brother. We'll pray, before we get it on. I was like,
what?
You can pray in lingerie? I didn't know you could pray in lingerie, but I guess apparently you can.
Oh, my God.
I mean, when I'm sitting there going, so when guys start using, and I was eventually called a heathen, but it wasn't until I started.
Welcome to the fold, by the way.
Yeah. Once I started reading the Bible, studying the Bible, you get your commentary, you get your concordance, and you break it down, and you get an understanding. The blinders come off. You see the world. You see no one can hook you. You find out when you're sitting in church, that's not what that is. That's this. Okay? If someone's misquoting, you don't get pulled in by the Jehovah's. You don't get pulled in by the Seventh-day Adventists and all these different things. Because you see.
The Waco guys.
Yeah, you don't get pulled in because you know. And it's still a lack of knowledge that gets people in trouble. And that's why when guys are sitting up there, if you do know your Bible, then you know what Jeff Sessions is wrong, what he said. Those that don't, and they sit back and go let everybody else tell them whatever. Because it wasn't it a doctor who got shot. He was an abortion doctor. They shot him in the church. Mm-hmm. Okay, what was that?
Dr. Tiller.
Dr. Tiller. Dude walked
Kansas,
right in.
I believe?
Yeah, walked right into the church, walked right up to him, boom, blew him away in the church. Hello, these are the same folks who are talking to so-called evangelical, they're the biggest liars in the world. Most of your militia, all these different militias and these groups, did not the guy who killed all the 9 black people, where did he go? Where did he kill them? In a church.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh. Yeah.
He walked right up to, he prayed with them. He was there for an hour, and then he shot him. And people say, well, what's your connection with this? Because these are the people who are hollering all about God, and they're the ones that are breaking the laws. They're the ones that's busting up the families, and they're the biggest drug dealers. They're the biggest, freaks. They're the biggest sex addicts. They're the ones with the whips and whatever. What was it, high anxiety? Wasn't it?
With Harvey Korman and Cloris Leachman. Where
Cloris Leachman was in there. Have you seen High Anxiety? Oh my
great.
God!
It's Mel Brooks' take on Hitchcock movies.
Oh my God! I want to see that. That sounds funny.
You will be hysterical. But that's what it reminds me of with her, because she was. Hello, we are going to have time to share.
No fruit cup.
No fruit cup for you.
You're late.
Oh my God! Cloris Leachman is amazing. And Harvey Korman, oh my God, shit will have you in stitches. I laugh even though, but that's what this reminds me of.
Well, let me just quickly, because one of the things that, I know a lot of religious folk will hear, he's agnostic, he's an atheist, he hates the Bible, he hates religion. You're not entirely wrong. But the thing is that using religion at this time and with the current culture, the chairwoman of the Republican Party earlier this week tweeted, "Complacency is our enemy. Anyone that does not embrace the real Donald Trump agenda of making America great again will be making a mistake."
Okay,
now,
that's a threat.
I looked at that. It's like, ominous and threatening? Is that what you were going for? Because 100%. That's what I'm getting out of this.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not good. I think that Jeff Sessions using the Bible to justify this, it reminds me a bit about... So the Nazis didn't use the Bible that I know of to justify that, but if we're saying... you have to follow the laws of your country. Then we're saying it was okay for all the people in Germany who were not SS to just sit by and allow everything to happen and for millions of people to be killed and just it was fine.
Well, I was going to say 2 things. One, most atheists know the Bible better than Christians, 2. And also, Hitler got his plan from America. That's how he learned how to do it. Because you have to blame someone to get the people to buy into your plan, to get them to do what you want. And it was already done here first. So That's where it came from. He even said it. I learned how to do what I did because he knew the people were stupid and he knew what to sell them on. And he sold them that the Jews were their problem, just like they're trying to tell you that the immigrant is your problem. And it is not. It is what your government and what the corporations are doing to the people and selling them and getting them to do things to where you're not focused on. That's why you're a consumer. They don't want you thinking. Yeah. So, what were you saying? I'm just answering the point. No,
I think you're absolutely right, and there's been a lot of talk in the punditry, on the talk shows, on the news commentary shows about how this is, people need to stand up and act and draw attention to this stuff. Because it is the slow erosion of our liberties.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And even when it's so blatantly obvious, with be it voter suppression or, just using it's
well, if you look at I was at my lounge and so there's this guy walks by. You can see on the street. Guy walks by. He's got on ripped jeans. Got his, earrings in his ear and his nose. Looks funky, right? So, just, look like he's a rocker or whatever. And the guy who's a big Trump, look at that fucking piece of shit walking by here. That's why he went fucking, just sitting there saying things about the guy. And I'm like, but that's the beauty of our country, man. You can be what you want to be. And he's a white dude. He can do what he wants to do. Okay? So he decided to get up and put tattoos all over his body and pierce his ears. But guess what? The motherfucker might own a business for all you know. Mm-hmm. Hello? But you, in your mind, you think that everyone's supposed to work. He said, well, if I owned this cigar shop, you wouldn't be able to come in here with sandals on. I said, that's the problem. You wouldn't have a business because no one would come and see you because you're a prick. No one likes a prick. Okay? By being a prick, you don't get to do that. And I said, that's your problem.
Maybe that's all Trump's strategy. If he's a prick, no one will come to America.
Yeah.
No more immigrants.
Yeah, well, but they're coming because we need them.
Mm-hmm, they are.
Yeah, okay. They're coming because we need them. That's what the thing was that the people come here for is to work. Okay, blame the corporations. As I've always said, they sent our jobs overseas. They cared more about the shareholder than they did you. The days of you being at your job for 25 years, making $35 an hour and having these, nice little salaries and they got rid of all of that. They didn't believe in you having that. They wanted that money. That's why a CEO has $125 million
there's
salary.
Still jobs like that. Yeah. There's still jobs with salaries. It's not like they don't exist. They're there.
Yeah, but you can't.
The blue collar ones. That's the ones that are gone.
Right.
But back to Jeff Sessions. I will say this much about the Bible verse and that stuff. And we have to follow the law. No, Paul. The Apostle Paul, who wrote the verse that Jeff Sessions quoted, was in himself not following the law by spreading Christianity. Paul, before he was Paul, was Saul, and his job was to go and kill Christians or throw them in jail or whatever.
Jesus, yes, sir.
Yeah, that was his thing. Mm-hmm. And then he had his moment where he fell off the horse, hit his head, and saw a light and saw Jesus. I think that something like that.
He had the proverbial come to Jesus moment, but it was
he sees
less
Jesus
proverbial.
And he goes, oh my goodness, I need to follow Jesus now. I need to go and spread the word of the gospel. Right. And he goes and he becomes a Christian and he's breaking the law. And so many martyrs, that's why they were martyrs in early Christianity. They died because they wouldn't renounce Christianity. And most of them died horrible deaths, also crucified or stoned to death.
Was John who was crucified upside down, either John or Paul.
I want to say Peter. I think it was Peter who was crucified upside down.
Okay, so and also the main verse that everybody falls short of the glory of God. That basically you're not going to be as perfect. All these things were created by man to control those that do not follow the way they want people to live.
Sure, but they've got people so twisted around that I really don't think we're that far from them justifying their horrible behavior by blaming liberals for not allowing the 10 Commandments to be posted in courtrooms and on government property. Well, if these liberals wouldn't stop us from reading our 10 Commandments and reminding us about them, from, we wouldn't be behaving like this.
Well, also it is also you
And
saw
people
the
are
guy.
going to go, oh, yeah, that makes sense.
And this is also. Oh, sorry.
No. But I was just going to say that the woman who had her what do you call it that they wear
Hijab.
hijab. She's at the bank, not bothering anybody, getting her money out. Guy says, "Oh,